I'm still here. We'll move over to YouTube. We are live now on YouTube. Hey guys, this is the Flippin' Landlord Ninja.
Kevin the Property Prince.
And we are Two Guys Take on Real Estate. So today we want to go over some questions that we get asked all the time about wholesaling.
And we really appreciate everybody that's been coming over from Instagram, TikTok, and all the different platforms, frankly, and finding our YouTube channel and joining us live.
Yep.
We also want to say hello to all the people that are watching this later.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Exactly. We appreciate it. So let's kind of jump right into it right now. And there, the chat went perfect. So the first thing is kind of giving that general idea. And I know probably a lot of you have already watched a lot of our videos, so you know what wholesaling is. But I'm just going to kind of give a brief overview. So wholesaling, essentially, there's kind of two different types of wholesaling, but the one is where you're actually selling a contract. So you put a property that you found, whatever it might be, that you get under contract, what's called an assignment contract. Mm-hmm. And then what you're doing is you're then flipping or selling that contract to an investor for a fee. The other way of wholesaling, which we also do a lot, is where you're actually purchasing a property and without really doing anything to it, you're just either putting it back up on the market or you're actually selling it to an investor because you were able to actually purchase the price, and then it saves them from actually being able to go make sure they have clear title and stuff like that. So it actually takes away the risk for them.
Sure. So in other words, you basically negotiate a great price on a property, probably a distressed property or something where there's some intense motivation for the owner to liquidate that property. And without even doing much, maybe you mow the lawn, maybe. And then you can turn around to sell that to somebody else, maybe for a pretty hefty profit margin on it. So there's a lot of different ways to wholesale.
Yep. And if you go into the links in some of our YouTube videos, you'll have links to a lot of the actual contracts that we use. Highly recommend you actually talk to a lawyer or two to review them for your area to make any changes or additions that need to be modified for your area specifically. So, all right, what would you say is the first top question that we get asked from people about wholesaling?
That's a good question. I don't know. We get a lot of questions about it. One of the things that they ask is, do I have to be a real estate agent?
Okay. So no, we don't have to be a real estate agent. You don't have to have a license to do this. There are a couple states out there, so I just want to clarify that. Yeah. Some do, but none of the states that we're actually in. Right. But there are a couple states that are making certain licenses required. You can have a license. You don't have to have a license in many other states. And but you can literally just get started today.
Yeah, no, starting by learning even is a great starting point. And, we always tell you guys, training your brain to thinking about real estate is a great starting point. So by watching our content, by being here, being part of this live, which, by the way, we've already got questions rolling in. People are already joined up to the live. That is a great way to get started, and doing it for free is fantastic. Look, people go to college, people pay tons in tuition to invest in themselves, to learn something. And we're sitting here on YouTube doing it for free. Take
Harvard education, baby.
Absolutely. Take a few minutes, hang out on our channel and watch this stuff, train your brain in real estate by watching about it every day. There's a whole bunch of people already asking some questions on our YouTube live stream. Okay. So I want to just pop onto those real quick before we move on so we can get some of those things answered. So we have some people that are asking some questions that are a little bit off topic for today, because we are talking today, as it says, about wholesaling real estate property. So we have one person, Mythic Windy. Hey, so I want to start a rental company. Any advice? Well, you can start that rental company by owning property. You don't have to wholesale this property. So you could be the person just simply buying it and keeping it. So wholesaling strategies will apply to acquire, a property for yourself. So that would be something to really consider is, if you want to start a rental property, start as a wholesaler and then just don't sell the property. Keep it for yourself. It's a great way to find awesome deals.
I'd recommend also, if you're looking to start a rental business, get experience with maybe either working for a property manager in the area. So you get familiar with the rental laws in your area. Every state's going to be a little different. And even sometimes cities will have different requirements as to like boarding houses or how many occupants are allowed to live in the house, stuff like that. So I would highly recommend, if you can and have the time, maybe get some experience with a local, very top-notch property manager so that you can really get a lot of good experience.
We have another question. It's, how do you house hack in college if you have a 0 credit score? Well, hopefully by not following the Kardashians and following Two Guys Take on Real Estate, learning about credit early, getting started early, planning. I mean, if you're, 18 and living on your own, didn't probably come as a surprise. Everybody knew you're going to be an adult someday. So plan for it. Maybe work with maybe mom and dad or anybody that maybe has a credit card with a good credit history. Add them as an authorized user. Have them add you as an authorized user so that you can start building your credit very, very early and very, very quickly.
The other thing with that, I would say, is not all do you have to buy a property right away from a bank. You could leverage hard money lenders. And some lenders, we actually know one down in Connecticut specifically, will lend you the money to actually acquire these properties. And they're looking at the deal. They don't care about your credit. They're looking at the deal to make sure that if you fail, if the thing goes all south, that they take back the property, they're still going to be made whole. And what they'll also do is once you're done with the property, some of them have created programs and they've worked where they actually now convert that note, so that mortgage that they have with you, into like a 30-year amortized mortgage. So some hard money lenders are now doing that, which is really big. So you don't even have to work about doing like refinancing it. You can refinance it right within that hard money lender. Fantastic opportunity there.
Okay. Where's the best place to find a real estate investor? And that is one of the top questions we get all the time.
There we go.
You probably saw it. Is there a way we can maybe work with the phone over there?
Yeah.
You might have seen it on our YouTube poll. So we have this as one of the most commonly asked questions. So say you found an awesome wholesale deal. Say you went through a lot of the wholesaling process that we've been talking about and teaching on our YouTube channel. And you get to the end where you have it under contract. What do you do with it? How do you find somebody to buy it? That's a great question. We do hear that a lot. So let's dig into that just a little bit here.
Sure.
One of the best things I can tell you as an answer to that is a little bit of social networking. I'll always be talking to people.
Of course.
And maybe use things like Facebook groups. There's real estate investor groups all over the place. Probably one for one of the more metropolitan areas near you.
Yep.
And become a member there and make a list. Start developing a list of people that are looking to buy project properties.
To be honest, the simple thing is actually using Google Sheets where you can. It's all free, and you can actually do surveys or something like that within Google Sheets that you can actually have people go and fill out a form, and it will actually post. So you can post that form in these Google groups and say, "Hey, I'm a wholesaler in the area. I'm looking for cash buyers, stuff like that." And then they can just fill out that form, which can take, it's really easy to do. And it will automatically create you a spreadsheet with all these people's names and numbers. That would be a good free way to do it. Like Kevin said, networking. Find the local landlord meetup groups. That's a great way. There's generally sometimes have charters of hundreds of people there. And they'll have a dinner maybe every month or so. You can just go there, schmooze around with people.
Anybody that's let them know, hey, listen, I acquire properties all the time. If I come across a great project property for you, would you want me to shoot you an email about it? Yep. And to start, like you said, developing a list, creating a whole bunch of people, a list, and that should be part of your job. Just like looking for properties, looking for wholesale deals should be part of what you're spending your time on. Developing a list of people that are going to buy those things from you very quickly is the other part. And as soon as you have a deal ready, you want to be contacting those people right away.
Exactly. Another great creative way of actually that I've talked to, and actually that some people actually got my name for as far as an investor, was finding where the local foreclosure auctions. Think about it. Foreclosure auctions generally attract a lot of investors. So if you go there, more likely not, the person that bought it, they're all happy they got the new deal, but there's probably 4 or 5 or who knows, 10, 20 other people there that didn't get the deal. They're looking for a deal.
Sure.
I mean, that's easy.
Yep. They're literally people looking to buy.
I know. Right?
Give them something to buy.
Right.
Yeah. So lots of different ways. I hope some of that helped you. For those of you that are on our Instagram and TikTok feeds right now, we are doing a YouTube live. We'd love it if you guys were able to get some of your questions answered by jumping over to our YouTube channel, joining our live, and joining up with all the people there that are going to be watching it right now live and also later by asking your questions. So you can find us on your YouTube app by searching 2 Guys Take on Real Estate. Same name as it is here, what you're watching. And speaking of which, let's move to the next question from Rob.
All right, Rob. Hey, as a cash investor buying from wholesalers, do you have time to get the house inspected before a 10-day inspection period ends, or do cash buyers typically just take that risk? So typically cash buyers will bring their contractors in. There's generally not a 10-day inspection period in most of these clauses because of the fact that the wholesaler generally maybe has a week or a 2-week contingency for their their contract anyway. So they basically, to sell to the seller, they've negotiated basically a very short time frame. So they don't lock up that person and say that, hey, I will bring in a buyer very quickly. And often, yes, you'll go there and you'll inspect, bring your contractors, bring your plumber, electrician. That's fine. But I would not say you're generally getting a home inspection done.
Right. I mean, remember, you're buying the property as is. You're buying probably a distressed property. You know you're buying something that is not going to pass a home inspection. It's not supposed to. You're buying something that's going to have a lot of renovation work or value add.
Some sort. Yeah. Once again, it might not be like completely falling down.
It might just need a roof. Might need a little bit of lipstick. Sure.
Exactly. So, I mean, I would definitely still recommend finding your contractor so you can have a good estimate of your rehab budget. Obviously, that's really important because that's going to help you guide you as an investor of what you can actually pay for this property.
Alex says, what's up, guys? Alex, thanks for joining on our broadcast. I know he found us recently over on TikTok. I think.
What's up, Alex?
And we're here doing a Q&A live on YouTube for our YouTube subscribers. If you're watching on any of the other platforms, please find us on YouTube at Two Guys Take on Real Estate. Hit the subscribe button and then come join our live stream and ask us some questions about wholesaling real estate and how anybody can do it, including broke freaking college students, guys. You can be doing this stuff. No need to be a broke college student.
Sean.
Sean just locked in his first awesome deal. I mean,
exactly.
Hey, he was somebody that found us by watching lives on TikTok. Happened to realize that we're local to him, and he got Hunter right then, and he's like, Mike, I got to learn how to do this.
Literally, and then
found us while we were still live.
And he did a couple of drive arounds with me. We went to some auctions together, and then asked. And he watched almost all videos on YouTube, and basically, he locked in his first deal pretty quickly, and he's already got in the hopper that hopefully will. And
this is the guy who found our live stream by accident 2 months ago. I mean, very, very short time. Victoria says, "Oh my God, it's Matt." Yes, Matt is here this time for our YouTube live. We really appreciate taking the pressure off me and having some personality here for a change.
Yeah, exactly. Someone had to bring the good looks.
Yeah. How does a hard money? You left your hair though at home, I think. How does a hard money lender work?
Where is that wig?
How does a hard money lender work? Pretty well.
All right.
They work pretty well.
Wow.
Next.
So yes. So often as part of wholesaling in general, there's generally going to be a hard money lender involved because most of these wholesale deals are going to be used cash to purchase them. So, and cash is a relative term.
Yeah.
Cash does not mean that you actually have to have $100,000 in your bank account, but someone does.
I keep mine in my briefcase. I just carry a huge briefcase full of it around.
There you go. Yeah. So a hard money lender is essentially a cash flow because they can close very quickly. I mean, we've had hard money lenders close in like 2 days from actually getting under contract. So, but a hard money lender is typically, and there's also private money lenders as well. So there's two different types. But hard money is someone that has some cash that they're looking to lend out for a higher rate with a short term than that of a bank. So let's just say if you're paying 4% at a bank on a 30-year amortization, so you have 30 years to pay that back, a hard money lender is probably looking at a 1 year, and they're looking at maybe 10, 12%. And then they'll also add what's called points. And 1 point is 1% of the loan. So at $100,000, you're paying $1,000 on top of that. And then basically they're looking to either maybe have interest payments paid monthly, or when the deal is all closed and finalized, they then get paid all their interest at that time. Every hard money lender is a little different. So you can definitely kind of search, check out Bigger Pockets, check out Facebook groups, and figure out what one works best for you. And then there's also private money, which private money is basically generally friends and family, people that have money maybe in a 401k or just IRA or something like that, that they're not happy with the crappy returns they're getting in the stock market, and they want to roll the dice with real estate. And so, but they don't have the time to be hands-on, so they're looking to basically lend it to you or that. Is that a good explanation?
Sure. Yeah. What were we talking about again? Oh, yeah.
Really?
Hard money lending. Yeah. So hard money lending isn't going to really come up for you in the wholesaling process for the most part. The person that's buying the property may be somebody that's using a hard money loan. But in terms of you needing to worry about hard money lending or knowing about hard money lending for wholesaling real estate, probably not too big of a deal. The best thing you might be able to do in terms of having relationships with hard money lenders is helping a potential buyer connect with a hard money lender. That might help facilitate you having a buyer faster and easier.
Or you could also reach out to hard money lenders. They're probably going to have a list of investors.
Active buyers. Absolutely.
Exactly. Hey, yeah, exactly. I mean, I know that like Ian from Pinnacle, he actually consistently, and by the way, hey, Ian, if you're watching, guys, if you're looking in Mass or Connecticut for a hard money lender, Ian from Pinnacle Financial, fantastic. They will really help you. And Ian, make sure we get some credit for that, please.
Victoria's trying to help us out here because there's some TikTok followers that haven't found us over on our YouTube live stream yet to ask their questions. And she's got a question from our TikTok family. How do you handle leads where they are very motivated to sell but want retail price?
How do you handle leads where they are very motivated to sell but they want retail price? Well, to be honest, you're generally not going to actually find. I would say, hey, I'd recommend that you actually reach out to a realtor. That's not something that as a wholesaler I'm going to be able to help you with, because of the fact that there's got to be meat on the bone for everyone, and I'm looking for a situation where there's actually motivation to help you transact quickly. Whereas if you have the time, months and months to actually go through a regular transaction, you'll get more money for that. And I think you should recommend that way.
Yeah, I mean, you're not trying to take advantage of anyone or bully anyone or mislead someone. In fact, you have to lead them a little bit to a realistic understanding and expectation. So one of the things I would, for instance, maybe you're thinking along the lines, somebody's got a 3-bedroom single family house and they're like, listen, I'll sell it, but I want $200,000 for it. You could maybe understand why that isn't realistic for them. And you could say, listen, that's awesome. I understand that's what you're looking for. I haven't seen your property yet, but I know there's one, a quarter mile away that's similar in size to yours and layout. And that recently sold, for $200,000, and it was fully remodeled. I see it on Zillow or I see it on MLS or wherever. So your house I'm assuming your house is also all newly remodeled and also really nice. And then, probably not, right? So then they're going to start telling you all the things that the house kind of needs. And you say, okay, so wow. Okay. So you don't have a new roof like that, like the $200,000 houses in your area go for. I see. So, I know new roofs, that's going to cost probably around $20,000. So, I mean, would you think maybe 180 is more of a fair price then? Okay. And then work from there backwards. And your kitchen is all remodeled, just like all the other houses at that price. Oh, it's not. Oh, so you haven't remodeled it since the 70s. It's still got the green or yellow appliances. And
yeah. Oh, and they're like, oh, but I also got to close next week. Well, okay, that's great. Well, then there's going to obviously have to be some give and take. And I think the idea is finding what their motivation is, and then finding a win-win situation where they're happy, they can get what they need, and that's really understanding what their real need is. Everyone says they want the most, of course, but sometimes there's a real need. Maybe they really need to, they got a new job and they need to move very quickly. And so you can help them that. You can get them the top dollar that they can get and also sell it in a week. And
Matt's hit the nail on the head, just like in the question, very motivated to sell. Well, what does that mean? Why are they motivated? Uncover those motivations and then help them understand how you can meet their needs, their motivation at a fair price, considering. So we've seen people who were very motivated because their house is going to get foreclosed on. They haven't been paying their mortgage. They're going to lose the house in a week.
Yep.
They can't go to a realtor, put it on the market, get tip-top retail price for this thing in less than a week.
No.
So, but they, for some reason, think I'm not going to sell my house for less than it's worth. And they miss the opportunity to sell it for less than it's worth and avoid a foreclosure and maybe walk away with some cash. And once they said no to you, you went and made a deal with 2 other people, for instance. Maybe you lost your buying power. You've used it up. Now, the day before the foreclosure auction is set to happen, they come back to you and say, okay, you know what? 100,000 is, I'll take it. I'll do it.
Well, and again,
that's no longer an option for them when we've seen them lose the property.
What a property is worth is what an agreeable seller and buyer come to. I mean, just because Zillow says it's worth 300,000 doesn't mean that there's a willing buyer at that price and a willing seller at that price. So that's what
the market will bear.
Exactly.
Given all the things considered, time frame, conditions, things like that.
Age, style. I mean, there's so many different things to take into consideration.
Just a follow up to the hard money question from one of our YouTube viewers on our YouTube live.
Yeah, fine. So awesome, legendary. So what I would say is the best way to find hard money lenders is same thing, Facebook groups. I guarantee a lot of the local Facebook groups that focus on real estate investors, if you just ask in those groups, who do they use for hard money lending? They'll probably get quite a few names. The other thing is biggerpockets.com, which is a free website. They have a forum, and they do have people out there that are hard money lenders as well. And you can generally find some good people up there too.
Checking with local lenders, maybe literally small local banks who can't always approve somebody or don't have a product that fits for their local customers. Sometimes they'll say, listen, we don't have what you're looking for, but I know, this company or that company or this person or that person in our area does hard money lending. Maybe check with them. So that might be an opportunity to look into.
All right.
Alex says, off topic. Thanks, Alex, for keeping us on topic. But do you guys recommend any banks in the area for a HELOC? I want to use it to buy my first multifamily property. So awesome that you want to buy a multifamily house.
So Alex, I believe you're from Chicopee. So I would highly recommend checking out Holyoke Credit Union. Holyoke Credit Union has some great programs for HELOCs. So I would recommend them, or Greenfield Savings Bank is another one. Adam Baker over that way. I think Adam's mostly in commercial department, right?
He is.
All right, so that might not work for a HELOC, but check out Wholesale Credit Union, check out Greenfield, and those are some great banks that you can get some good rates and stuff for HELOC. But really, honestly, just call around the local banks and see what rates, because their programs are always changing. So, and their rates change. So I would just call them all. But those two, we know personal experience that they are actually quite.
And that's a great answer to a question that I think for all of our viewers. Local banks can be fantastic. I would definitely start building a banking relationship with some local smaller banks in your area.
And multiple banks. So if you're looking to actually scale this business, so a lot of people don't realize that, especially local banks, they have what's called a lending limit. And so they might be able to lend $5 million, depending on the size of the bank and how much they have that they hold. They can actually that will expand. So as they buy more branches and something to expand their business, they can actually have a bigger lending limit. But at some point, they actually get to a point where they can't lend you anymore. So having multiple relationships with local banks is really key, especially what we call portfolio lenders. Those are fantastic for investors because they actually keep the loans in-house, and it will allow you to, as an investor, to get things done quicker. You don't have to have as much headache with underwriting and some other things. So I recommend it.
Legendary writes back, thanks so much. You guys are the best. We appreciate you being here, Legendary. Thanks for hopping on our YouTube live and being part of this Q&A about wholesaling real estate. So let's get back to talking more about wholesaling real estate here. We're going to talk a little bit about one of the common questions I get. I haven't seen it brought up yet on our YouTube live, but I'm going to go ahead and put this out there because I know we get asked it just all the time, probably off topic in our other type of discussions.
Sure.
But how do you get a hold of somebody that owns a property that they may be very motivated to sell? So this is one of the more common questions we hear a lot. I was talking about it on a video where we driving down a road, you see a rundown, distressed house. Nobody lives in it. It's a vacant, rundown property, not fit to live in.
Right. So there's no one living there.
No one lives there. You can't just get out of your car and go knock on the door. Nobody's going to answer.
Fair enough.
How do you get a hold of somebody and say, hey, I'd like to buy that house, please?
So there's there's many different ways you can do it. So, one of the simplest, easiest ways is I bet they have a neighbor. Go knock on the neighbor's door and say, hey, I see this rundown property. Do you know contact information for the owner? I'm an investor in the area and looking to fix this place up so it's not an eyesore for you. Often, neighbors are a treasure trove of information, and they'll probably talk your ear off about everything about the property and who was there, where they moved, their cousins, their aunts, uncles, everyone.
You would be surprised at the amount of neighbors that'll come up and approach me. And they'll see me looking or taking pictures of a clearly abandoned and rundown house that they're sick of living near. And they'll say, oh my gosh, did you buy the place? Are you going to fix this place up? Oh my, I'm really, really happy to see somebody taking interest in this property. And they'll tell you anything that they possibly know about the owners, the property situation, you name it. So don't necessarily think people are going to be like, why is this person there? Why is this person bothering me? Once they know what's going on a little bit, they're probably very excited to talk to you and more than willing to help. So that's a great way.
Another way, honestly, is basically using what's called skip tracing software. There's a lot of different things like Deal Machine has it built in. You can get stuff like what was one of the Intellius. There's quite a few. If you just Google it, you'll find a bunch of different ones.
I know they have it on Deal Machine. I don't know if they have it on PropStream.
Yes, they do.
They do. Okay.
It's all part of PropStream as well. Which
those are two different softwares that almost everybody that do wholesaling have at least one of, maybe both, depending on how bad they want to succeed in wholesaling.
Now, they basically what it'll do is it'll give you a rough idea of where they're currently registered as, which often that is coming from the registry or the assessor's database, which you can also get for free. Most of that's online these days, and they'll often get you a number or two. Now, we found often those numbers are dead or not being used, but what we might have better success with is actually finding relatives, because you can generally look and find relatives of those people and their numbers, and then knocking on their door or calling them or texting them. Texting is another great way. Often people don't answer the phone for numbers they don't know, but if they see a text and you're, hi, I'm looking at 123 Main Street. Your cousin, lived there, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking to see if I can get them some cash for that house or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, basically right to the point, make sure that they know you're not a spam or a fake, sketchy, scammy caller guy.
Right.
But yeah, and I mean, we were talking about how I bought a house. As I noticed the house as I was driving to Dunkin' Donuts one day, it was a vacant property. And that's another great example of it, where I pulled over because I noticed a rundown, distressed vacant property, pulled out, I happened to use Deal Machine, pulled out the Deal Machine app, punched the information in about the address, and some of the numbers that came up actually worked. So sometimes these people move. It's an old number. It's a disconnected number, whatever it might be. But you might get 5 numbers. The first one I happened to try actually connected, and the guy answered the phone. So it can be challenging. Yeah, it can be challenging to get a hold of these folks. But there's a lot of different software like the Deal Machine app and PropStream and Intellius and all these other different systems where you can get a hold of people, try numbers that have been associated with them in the past.
Honestly, I'd say that's probably the hardest thing we found is actually getting people on the phone. Once we get them on the phone, we have a very high success rate of actually landing the deal.
Right.
But just finding that person and getting them to answer the phone and talk to you, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I love doing this stuff in person. When we talk about wholesaling real estate, there's a lot of different techniques and ways to do it. That's one of the reasons I love Driving for Dollars so much. And we teach about Driving for Dollars on our YouTube channel, where, by the way, everybody on TikTok and Instagram over there, we are on our YouTube live channel right now taking questions, in case you're wondering who we're talking to sometimes. We're taking questions from people on our YouTube live. If you'd like to be part of our YouTube live broadcast, please find us at Two Guys Taking
And if you're actually watching this after the live, please leave a comment, ask a question. We are happy to get to that and answer those questions. Maybe even do a whole video on that question. So please make sure you leave a comment.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah, exactly.
And click the like button. It's there for a reason, guys. Help us out. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different strategies. Driving for Dollars is one of our favorites because you get a pretty high success rate, because you're actually driving by and putting eyes on an actual property. You're not generating them from a list.
Right.
If the property is occupied, you can actually go up and you can make contact with somebody. It's so much easier to have a conversation by knocking on a door than trying to track down phone numbers and get somebody to answer the phone and actually not hang up on you. So having a conversation just by knocking on somebody's door.
I mean, the other way of finding deals for wholesale deals I find that is really good is you can buy a list from like the White Pages and some other different websites and stuff like that. PropStream is great. You can build lists there. Often a lot of those lists have already been gone through many times. So what we've liked to do is actually kind of found other ways that you can find landlords in the area or other people that are having trouble. Then maybe they're having issues with their tenants and stuff like that. And you can often find that with these days in online, in the online court stuff. You can look for stuff that are summary process or notice to quit, and you can start actually reaching out to those people. And often those you'll have the owner's name. They're active because they're obviously part of a court case, so they're around. And as opposed to the people that just kind of are gone, maybe they moved out of the country.
Right.
I don't know, skipping, running away from the IRS. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean that's another good way of actually finding deals, and that's honestly the way Sean, the guy we talked about earlier, found his first deal. Was he actually found where a landlord was having a lot of trouble with a tenant that hadn't paid for 8 months?
At least I think it was closer to a year.
But. Oh Jesus! So very long time. So this landlord was clearly very, very frustrated and cash strapped. And so Sean was able to negotiate a really good deal where they were super happy. They put a bunch of money in pocket. They stopped having to deal with code enforcement. They stopped having to deal with this tenant not paying. And they're a small time landlord, and a lot of small time landlords can't handle some of these bigger problems.
They were just thrilled to be able to move on and just get rid of all the headaches that they were dealing with. So they were happy. We were happy. The tenants became happy. Everybody ended up being very, very happy in this ecosystem that he created. All right, so we got to move along. So Lisa, did I look at that property I sent over? You see, one of the great things with being so interactive with our followers is people actually send us thoughts and potential leads on properties. So Lisa, I did get a hold of that. I'll get back to you guys on it shortly at some point.
All right, Lisa.
From TikTok. People on TikTok who still haven't made it over to YouTube, we appreciate it. We're happy to get the question relayed from Victoria. Thoughts on buying vacant land, good or bad investment? We don't have a ton of experience with buying vacant land, but you can absolutely crush it with that, especially if you look at some of the town provisions in terms of if it's a buildable lot or things like that.
One of our great friends from TikTok and stuff like that, Quality Land, that's what he focuses on. Yep. He just does a lot of land all across the country, to be honest. And so he's, flipping land consistently. And we've had, we definitely don't focus on lands, but all too often we found if we have a property that has another buildable lot attached or something that can be cut off and sectioned off as a buildable lot, we've had some high success and helped a couple of our friends that have bought properties from us understand how they could have actually, basically sold off a lot, and they made an extra $20,000, $30,000 that they weren't even expecting. It's like found money. So, I mean, yes, vacant lots can be good if understand zoning. You need to understand building regulations. These are the things that you're going to want to kind of learn about so that you can actually understand what the potential of the land is. You need to understand GIS maps and basically setback requirements. You need to understand about wetland requirements. There are a lot of things to understand, but once you get that understanding, it's definitely, you can figure and see value in stuff that many other people will actually overlook. Yep. So vacant land can be fantastic.
There's so many different opportunities and strategies you can use to get involved in the world of real estate. Today, we are talking about wholesaling, and we are doing a Q&A on it over on our YouTube live stream. So if you're still watching on any of our other platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and you haven't found your way to our YouTube channel, please take a second and search us.
Yep. You guys take on real estate.
And drop a question.
But you can wholesale vacant land too, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you find some great deals on land, we'll buy it, especially as long as there's meat on the bone for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And sometimes you can pick up land for real cheap. People don't want it. They want to pay the taxes. They think it's not buildable, but maybe they don't realize that it's grandfathered in, that they can actually build up a house there because maybe it's 49, frontage on the feet, and the new requirement is 75, but it grandfathered in, that it could build. And so now, because you understand that, they didn't realize it and they just didn't want to deal with it, and they'll sell it to you for $500. And now you go and sell it for someone to $10,000. You made a nice profit, and that person maybe puts a duplex on it or a single family home, whatever it might be.
So we do have a great and unusual question over here from Cersei.
What's up, Cersei?
On a YouTube live stream right now asking, hey, can I get an American loan as a Canadian citizen? Thanks. Well, first of all, move here. Become an American citizen. Join the team. We'd love to have you. Secondly,
we love our Canadian neighbors. Thank you.
That's right. Welcome aboard. I have no idea. Maybe this is a good answer that can be addressed probably by a local bank for you here, where they can spend that kind of time working with you on these kind of things. One of the things I will tell you is if you're looking to get involved in real estate, wholesaling property, buying and holding property, flipping property, local banks, smaller banks, love to develop a relationship with you. Right. Why? Because you might be a great repeat customer for them. They're not looking to just, have you open a savings account and every now and then put a couple of bucks in it. They want people that are going to constantly come in, buy loans, refer other people to them. And I mean, they're going to be looking for a repeat business. So they're very happy to spend time talking with you about kind of unique situations like what you might be describing.
Yeah, and we don't have, honestly, experience with that. So we can't really give you great advice on that part. But I'm sure that if you, like Kevin said, talk to some local banks, they'll be easily able to give you that answer.
Yeah. I have $100K and I'd like to buy, also Cersei, a house or houses.
Well, so the other way is maybe partnering up with someone who is living here in the United States. And therefore you partner up, you create an LLC with that person. Maybe you're the investor and they're the boots on the ground.
We talk about that stuff all the time, partnering up. Yep. And that's honestly, that's a solution to a lot of different people's jams or questions. I've had people that ask me, said, I'd like to buy a house. I got $50K. I want to buy a multifamily house, but I don't have any credit, or I can't prove income, or I have all those things, but you know what? I don't have time to fix up a house. Right. So partner up with somebody that has that missing piece of that puzzle for you. Split up some percentage of ownership and create a partnership on this stuff. So there are a lot of different ways you can overcome those kind of things, and a lot of people don't realize you don't have to do it all yourself. This is two guys' take on real estate for a reason, exactly. Right? So there's a lot of different ways you can solve some of those shortcomings you might have.
And once again, going back to wholesaling, you don't have to do wholesaling yourself. You could partner up. Maybe one of you is in the back office, basically doing all the paperwork and stuff like that, while one of you is actually boots on the ground, finding deals, knocking and talking to people. So you can definitely partner up with people and find where your shortcomings might be.
Victoria says people are slacking or don't know how to comment on YouTube. Wow. It could be a little bit of both. So just for you folks that are still on our other platforms, Instagram and TikTok, we love our awesome followers, but please, we're pointing over here at our screen for YouTube. Please find us on our YouTube Live. This is where we have a lot of longer, full-length content about the stuff you've been seeing on your platforms that you're on right now, but also where we're answering questions live from our subscribers. So please find us over there. Subscribe, maybe click the like button. I don't know. Couldn't hurt. And find us. It's the same name as it is right here on TikTok and Instagram. Yep. Two Guys Taking Real Estate.
Alex has got another question.
Oh, Alex is full of it today. Full of it.
Whoa. Most people talk about wholesaling, talk about title companies in our area. It is a different sense where an attorney say, yes. So you're right, exactly. So you still generally need a title company. That will actually be more on the investor buying the property because they're going to want to get title insurance. In our state, it's very different. Some states like Tennessee actually use a title company to close on the property, whereas we are, as you know, attorney state. So, but still, we still use a title company. We actually use often Caddick. And they write all our title policies for us. So this way, basically, it covers if there's a title issue, we're insured for a certain amount so that we can then basically have that title company cover us if they find years later that there's a title issue and we can't have marketable title.
Victoria just keeps helping out from TikTok. There's people commenting on our TikTok. Maybe they don't realize we're over on YouTube, and that's where we're taking our questions. So please take a second. We love you, but find us over on YouTube so we can respond quicker to your questions. And if you're watching this on a restream later and not catching us live, drop your question in our YouTube comments.
And likes.
And your likes, too. I know I'm talking to you. That's right. You didn't click that button. I know it's you.
Exactly. That person right there.
No, don't move. Yeah, them.
Okay, the one in the red shirt?
Yeah. Drop that question in your comment section there, and we'll definitely get back to you on it. I'm 19 and I have money saved up. Good for you to see a responsible 19-year-old. That's amazing right now. I was not. Still not. I want to do the duplex rent out thing that you guys talk about. How do I start? So it's called house hacking. We teach it here on our YouTube channel. Find our house hacking content, watch that content, watch it twice a day if you've got to.
Twice a day.
Every day. And how do you start? You can start with some of the same principles we're talking about right here about wholesaling.
Exactly.
So start by how do you acquire that house? How do you find a great deal on a 2 or 3 or 4 family house?
Even a single family house works for house.
Even a single family house would work out. Yep. So how do you do that? Apply some of the wholesaling principles that we teach also right here on our YouTube channel, and we'll help you learn how to find a great buy opportunity. Now, those houses might need a little bit of work. Some will need more work. Some will need a little less work. Buy where you feel you're comfortable. The ones that need more work, usually you can buy and have a greater opportunity because you're putting in some sweat or some equity, or you're doing some work in developing that property, some value add. The ones that maybe have a little less work needed, oftentimes you're going to be paying a little bit more of a premium, but still hopefully getting it under value. Once you've done that, right, you're essentially going to be starting what's called the Burr Method. And we teach that on our YouTube channel. We should start charging for this stuff. We teach that on our YouTube channel as well. So learn about the Burr Method and follow the Burr steps. So you're going to be buying by using our wholesaling concepts and principles. You're going to rehab or renovate, maybe extensively, maybe not too extensively. Then you're going to go towards renting out that property. Get some of your buddies. You're 19. Maybe you have a lot of 19-year-old people are pretty single, looking to do the roommate thing. We have college students stacked up in dorm rooms on bunk beds. They're 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are living in a cinder block square room and bunk beds. So definitely some younger folks are going to not mind renting an apartment from you. And then you refi your money out and you've really hit the ground running. It's a great way to get started in real estate. It's one of the most valuable things you can learn about real estate. You can learn it for free right here at Two Guys Take on Real Estate on YouTube. It's what we started off doing when we bought our first 2-family house. And they didn't even call it the Burr Method then. It was not a brand new concept. They just branded that concept after. I see a whole bunch of questions here popping up. And thank you, everybody that's following us over on our YouTube channel right now. So you can interact with our channel and ask questions right here on our live feed. I live in a county. Let me get this question up here. I live in a country without multi-family homes. Oh, wow. Okay. What's the next best first investment? Single family homes with more bedrooms than you need, probably. And have your friends, family, relatives, whoever, rent bedrooms from you. So many people at a young age, move out of the home, move out of their mom and dad's place, and they rent an apartment with their friends. They have a roommate or two. Instead of having a landlord and you all are paying a rent, you're splitting a 3-bedroom apartment up and paying a landlord, be the landlord. Buy a single family house, rent out the other 2 bedrooms to other people that you were going to be roommates with anyway. That might be the best way to get started if you're looking to do something like that. Otherwise, that's how I would get going. You can, somebody says turn the alerts on as well. Yeah, Matt is right. Please turn the alerts on our YouTube channel as well, because we have some videos coming up that are pretty incredible, and I don't want you to miss them and have them get lost in the shuffle. Some people have been waiting for some of these videos to come out for a little while. So when you do subscribe over on Two Guys Taking Real Estate on YouTube, you click the alerts as well and turn them on.
Yeah, word it up.
Yeah.
Word.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Hey, Alex, another great question from Alex. Awesome, Alex. Is it typical to assign or double close here in Massachusetts? So a signed contract, that's basically wholesaling 101. Yes, that is we do hundreds of them. So yes, that is very common. A double close, which is a little different. That's basically when you are actually having the lawyers all at the same law office at one time, and you're basically, no one ever sees the contracts. It's basically just kind of, you're closing on one and then using the other money to close on the other, all at the same time. So no one really sees who bought what for the most part. It just all happens at one time. It happens sometimes. A lot of people say, "Oh, but I don't. What if the person knows that I'm making $10,000? Oh, they're
I love that. That.
Honestly, I'm all about disclosing it.
Set those expectations early. Everybody wins. That's what you should be helping everybody understand.
Right.
Profit's not a dirty word. It's okay to make money on something. Otherwise, why in the world would you be doing this? As long as everybody's happy with their piece of the pie or the deal they're getting, there's no reason to be upset with anybody else's deal.
And honestly, I often negotiate. So if I find a good wholesaler in the area, we'll say, hey, this is what we're looking for. If we get this, we're happy to pay $5,000, $10,000 for the deal. So go find us those deals. I want them to make money, because the more money they make, the more deals they bring me, the more money I make.
Absolutely.
I mean, so please, yes. Yeah. I mean, don't be afraid. If you're finding an investor that, basically is going to try to cut you out of the deal or something like that, you don't want to work with them anyway.
No, not at all. No, move on.
Yeah.
Ray asks, looking for resources I can read up on in detail. Currently a homeowner, and loan options for second house aren't as accessible. Looking for some hacks. So I think you're on a pretty good place. We're not selling books. We are making YouTube videos, and we don't charge for that stuff. So we have a lot of content here on our YouTube channel. I would ask you, please browse around. If you find on some of our videos that we don't go into as much depth as you need, or there's something specific that you feel is lacking, just drop a comment on there. We'll see it. Chances are we'll make a video just for you.
Exactly.
As long as you click the like button on it. You're gonna owe us that like. What's your favorite real estate book? Mine is, I think I saw it all from Mulberry Street.
Oh, yeah.
It's our first property was actually right near where Dr. Seuss came from. And that house no longer exists. They tore it down by accident.
Yes.
Where he lived. But we actually own property right by Mulberry Street. So that's my favorite real estate book.
Okay. I would say I don't really have a specific real estate book.
Read.
I would say The Richest Man in Babylon was one of my favorite books, just about finance in general. But there are some great books that I've read off of Bigger Pockets, Brandon Turner, a couple of those guys, Jay Scott. They've made some fantastic books. So I would.
We're gonna write one. It's gonna be a pop-up book. There's gonna be lots of pictures in it for you.
No words.
No words at all. Okay, this person named Chloe. Never heard of that. That's a weird name. Is wholesaling? Could I pronounce that right? Chloe.
Oh my God! Stop.
Is wholesaling a conflict of interest if I am also an active realtor at a brokerage?
So it could potentially be. You can still wholesale deals. You just need to make sure you're representing yourself
accurately, fairly,
and fairly.
And everybody.
You can't, because you are
you had a good
realtor,
explanation the other day.
Yes,
yeah.
You have knowledge of the market, so you can't try to misrepresent is the best way to say that a property is only worth $100,000 when you know full and well that it comps out at right as is at 150.
So I'm a big fan of telling the truth.
Yep.
The thing is, I'm also a big fan of telling the truth in such a way that you're highlighting other things, like and highlighting what's in it for them and why this is a good idea.
Yes.
So listen, yes, if you put this house in the market, you might be able to get $150,000 for it. It could take you 6 months to eventually get that.
Correct.
It's a distressed property. There's a slow absorption rate, et cetera, et cetera. However, since you need to sell this house by next week, or you're going to lose it for taxes or foreclosure or whatever,
or you have to move.
Yeah, you have to. Right.
Whatever.
Since you need to do it, you can definitely sell it today. For $100,000.
Exactly.
So again, you're stressing. You're not deceiving anybody. You're laying out the situation for somebody and letting them accurately make their own decision.
Thank you, Chloe.
Thanks, Chloe, for being on the broadcast. We appreciate it, and hope to see more of you again on here. Do you guys deal in commercial as well? I think he was going to keep talking, but yeah.
Yes, we definitely do.
We do. In fact, we actually are in the process of buying, if the realtors ever get their act together, another commercial real estate deal.
Yes, it's a mixed-use building, actually. There are 5 commercial units, and then how many?
5 commercial units and 9 residential. I'm just laughing at my inside jokes.
I know.
And 9 residential units. One of those residential units is actually a single-family house.
Yes.
On the property, which is crazy. So we are very, very excited about getting into commercial and sharing our experience as we're learning this stuff.
And obviously, you must be a little bit more new to the channel, Matt, because we also went live a couple times with a shopping plaza we bought
really cool.
a few months back out in East Long Meadow.
Oh my God, we live streamed that on TikTok.
Yes, we did.
We broadcast our TikTok of us buying this property
for $2.1 million.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
I mean, I remember distinctly holding the camera as the auctioneer is doing this thing and we're bidding. I think you were the one that actually called out the bid. And I literally said, I was like, man, I don't know if you guys can even hear the auctioneer over how loud my heart is pounding in my chest. But you guys got to watch, at least on TikTok. We're on YouTube
I'm
Live.
the one who's bidding like in 50,000 and 100,000 increments. I was like, whoa, there's another $100,000.
You guys got to watch us spend $2.1 million.
There's actually an auction coming up that we are potentially looking at doing that could be a $5 to $10 million purchase, but we don't know yet. I'm
a little nervous.
We're doing, right?
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
We're on the hook.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. And here we are just hanging out on YouTube with you guys all day. I don't know. Geez. All right. They just purchased. Okay, Victoria's catching them up. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Victoria.
We're catching up on these comments. These comments are coming in. Questions are coming from our wholesaling Q&A that we are broadcasting on YouTube Live right now. If you're on one of our other platforms, thanks for joining us. But please find us over on YouTube Live at Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
So this is a good question. I don't know who's asking the question because they're just lines.
I love it.
But yeah, will you ever go on Bigger Pockets podcast? It would be great to see. We would love to go on Bigger Pockets.
Yeah, get us on there, man.
Brendan Turner, if you're here, or Mindy Jensen, we would love to be on your show. I've applied now 3 times and I've not heard back.
I don't know who any of you people are, but I've heard great things. So yes, please get us on your stuff. If you're one of our viewers, tag us in things, share us around.
That's true.
Help us blow up a little bit. Maybe one of you guys knows somebody.
Maybe if this live video gets blown up, we'll actually be able to
How about that?
That'd be great.
I think the threats were the best part of the auction. Ooh, yeah. Well,
wow.
we're gonna move on.
We can't talk about that.
Let's go, Alex Nagel. Thanks for being on our broadcast.
Woo!
We appreciate all of our YouTube Live viewers right now checking us out, dropping comments and questions about, especially wholesaling real estate. Chloe, still here. She just does not want to leave. I suggest a YouTube video where you film step through step a wholesale deal and explaining the contracts you complete with seller and buyer.
We could do that.
Yeah, I think we have we kind of almost got there. We have a couple of YouTube videos about it. We can do more.
We could definitely do more. So I'd leave that to your hands. I think we could get that recorded.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe we can do something out in the field or a little bit of
Actually, maybe we can see if Chloe's in the area, she'd actually want to be part of that. She could ask questions. It could be also a little Q&A.
Yeah, that's true. It could be a little Q&A thing. Might be a great way to have a newbie kind of a thing, learn it step by step as we go.
So, Chloe, if you're still here and that's something you're interested in, let us know. That'd be awesome.
Drop us a line or something, Let's see. Is it difficult to make professional contacts? It is when you come across like us, because we look like a couple of bums. We're not the exact most professional. Hey, I'm just glad he's wearing pants today. Seriously, our office is not the most professional work environment. We love it. Everybody loves it. We have a lot of fun.
We have a sauna in our freaking basement.
We have a ninja gym in our third level here. We have everybody brings their pets in. I almost brought my bunny rabbit today. She's home watching this broadcast.
I'm sure she's just sitting there watching it.
We have an awesome pet policy. Guys, when you own your own business, you get to set your own pet policy.
Hell yeah.
I have a pack of dogs that will just wander into my office, nudge the door open. They'll come by, they'll say hello, and then they'll just parade out of the office. It's great. It's great.
But yeah, no, it's not hard to make professional contacts. Just start talking about what you're interested in, what your passion is. And one of our first investors that when we got to started this 12 years ago, I met him.
12 years. Feels like 35. Doesn't it?
Right?
Yeah, boy.
Well, I met him in my gymnastics class.
That's
like, seriously, I was just
gymnastics class, eh?
Gymnastics. Yeah.
That's where you met the guy? Meeting guys in gymnastics class, huh?
Yes, that's where I met him.
It's cool, man.
So I met him in gymnastics class, and I was just talking about what I was into. Kevin and I had bought a duplex, and we were flipping it, and we were actually for buy and hold and doing a Burr strategy, our first Burr together. And I just started talking about it, and he's like, "Wow, really?" And he's really interested, and we kind of made a great contact, and
kind of. Ray Dublin, your biggest hurdles, obstacles when getting into or completing a wholesale transaction. Great question. And, we touched on it earlier. Yep. So let me just hit this a little bit.
Sure, go for it.
Getting a hold of the person that owns the property is sometimes one of the most obnoxious thing, because you can make this whole thing work. Maybe you already have a perfect buyer in mind for this property. You just can't get the guy to answer the phone or open the door, whatever it might be. So my biggest hurdle, and it's so frustrating, it really is. And, and I do this. We do real estate as a profession. It's still frustrating when you have a great opportunity and you just can't get somebody to answer the phone or get in touch with you.
I would also, to add on to that, I'd say the next kind of hurdles or whatever is also making sure you're doing good follow-up. Because sometimes even if you reach them the first time, you might close it right away. So having consistent follow-up is generally, you'll see much greater success.
Yeah.
And also, I would say picking a lane. So once again, in real estate, we talked about there's many avenues. Even in wholesaling, you could go after probate, pre-probate. You could go after pre-foreclosures. You could go after, tired landlords. You could go after many different avenues. I would recommend when you're first getting started, pick a lane. Pick a type of distressed asset. It's focused on a certain distressed asset that you can do, and master that. And then once you get a few deals that way, then maybe you can add another in to get more deals. But this way you'll actually have a higher success rate.
Okay, a couple of good questions coming up here. I can see all these things. I'm under 18. Can I get a job working for an agent from home, like an assistant? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of people were working and have jobs before they're 18. You don't have to wait till you're an adult to have a job and a career. What was your first job? Oh, you worked with your family.
Dad, restaurant.
I think mine. You know what mine was? Did I ever tell you what mine was?
Weren't you? Wait, hold on. I think you did. You were like doing something with a survey or something.
That was kind of my first, almost real job. Yeah. Oh. I probably middle school. I think it was picking blueberries for work during the summers. Picking blueberries. Absolutely.
Really? Blueberries?
I was probably 8th grade. I mean, that's pretty good. But yeah, and then I think in high school.
Farm or something?
Yeah, I was in a farm. I'm from a rural area, and I had a blueberry farm. And
there's like 2
where do you think
the
blueberries come
hometown.
From? That's true. But you can absolutely do this. You can essentially kind of be an intern. You can do this stuff for free, maybe. I mean, donate your time in exchange for what you're learning.
Yeah, I would definitely talk to an agent or something like that. Find a realtor in the area that's needing help. Maybe you can do some marketing for them remotely. Maybe you can do, just calling out different contacts, or talk to like a property manager. Property managers definitely could use, maybe you can do some of the calls for collections or whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do remotely for different people.
Just like in our last TikTok video I just posted, If you're hanging out with people that are spending all their time keeping up with the Kardashians, hanging out with different people, man. Find people that are successful, motivated to do something, and when they're 18, they're hitting that ground running. One of the things we always regret, and talk about how we could have done differently. So we could have done a lot of this kind of stuff if we had this kind of knowledge when we were 18. Be a whole different story. We'd be doing this YouTube live from like sunny South Florida somewhere on a nice yacht, But here we are with you guys.
Wow. We are very happy to be here.
No, we're happy to be here. Just we have a great time doing this stuff. Okay, I see another. Victoria's doing. Thank you very much, Victoria, for moderating everything. And for the people that are on TikTok and Instagram that haven't found us over on our YouTube live, take a second, find us. It's Two Guys Take on Real Estate. But she's relaying a question from our TikTok family. You want to read it?
Sure. From TikTok. What would you do if you had no market knowledge in a state that you just moved to? So great. I would go get market knowledge.
Yep.
I would probably try to find the maybe a top agent that you could kind of shadow, property manager that you could talk to. I mean, depends on what you're looking to do. Are you looking to wholesale, flip, buy and hold? And then maybe find someone who has that knowledge. Find out the local landlord meetups and start going to them and getting that knowledge. Find an appraiser. Maybe you can assist an appraiser or something like that. They're going to have massive market knowledge in that area.
Moving along, because we have so many questions from our YouTube live stream right now. Do you have any questions? Do you have any properties? I can't read. In and around the North Shore. Oh, awesome, North Shore. And do you focus more Southwest Mass? Second question. Geez, Alex, how many questions are you trying to have here? Do you own properties outside of Mass? So second question first. Yes, we do have some properties outside of
states.
Mass. Yep. Do you have any properties in and around the North Shore? No, not really.
We have had, though.
Did we?
Yes. Remember the one that we had that issue with?
That was like Boston-ish or somewhere out that way. Yep. But otherwise, we focus mostly in Western Massachusetts. We like to call it the nice side of the state. Alex.
But because of the fact that we actually have a little bit less competition, we have gone to auctions. We have done some deals out, Worcester, Boston, stuff like that. But those are more like we get, maybe we buy a package of notes or something, and one of them came from that area, but often, especially with a lot of properties we buy at auctions, we go out there and they're either very mean or there's just so many people at these auctions, especially these days. But out here, we get maybe 4 or 5 people attending an auction. Out there can be 20 or 40 people.
It's like a whole different state. It really is. And I joke because, I don't have anything against the eastern side of the state, but it is a whole different state out here and incredibly underrated. So there's not just a lot of awesome lifestyle and living out here. There's a lot of opportunity for real estate. So we like it. We're open to stuff in any area. Of course, if it's a great deal, we're into it, but there's a lot of opportunity out here for really everything. Sorry, let's keep moving because we get so many of these people over here on our YouTube live, checking us out and asking us questions and comments. Where can we get wholesale contracts? Will any contract online do, or do you need one specific to Mass?
Alex, that's great. So if you go into our wholesaling video on YouTube, wholesaling step by step, there is in the description of the there is links to our contracts that we give out for free that you can modify and stuff like that. There's also if you're on our TikTok, you can get those same contracts on our link there with our Stand With Me page, which most of our YouTube videos also have that link as well.
Is it in there? Okay.
Yeah, I put it at the bottom.
Awesome. So great. Yeah, hopefully, and again, before you use any kind of contract or do anything with any kind of business, have something reviewed by a local specialized attorney that's familiar with this stuff.
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't mean go find a divorce lawyer to look at this. We're talking about a real estate lawyer
that knows what wholesaling is.
Right, exactly.
And honestly, let me just, and on that, attorneys, just like banking contacts and relationships, are relationships you need to build. Specialized attorneys, one for maybe rental property and eviction, one for real estate closings and deals like wholesales. And they're going to be happy to talk with you because if they know you're in this business, they're going to be looking at you as a potential repeat customer. So you're not inconveniencing them. They're not going to try to charge you just for having a 5-minute conversation. Have a few minutes of a conversation. They're looking at it from a networking and a business development point of view as well. So they're very happy and want to speak with you more about this stuff. What should I do when I'm done school if I want to get into real estate? Well, I think I love wholesaling. I think that's a great way to get into real estate. That's why we put this YouTube live broadcast together, so that everybody can ask us questions about how to do wholesaling right now while they're live, or if you're watching it later at night, drop a comment.
Wholesaling is a great way to get started. It's a great way to build a network. It's a great way to build some capital, as well as very little risk.
Victoria says she's happy to accept compensation for helping us out on all of our platforms right now. Really, at any time. Well, we'll find a way to repay you, I'm sure. And Alex says thank you. Of course, you're welcome, Alex. We appreciate you being here. Thank us by dropping a comment, a like, and sharing any of our YouTube videos. We're out looking to blow up, so help us with the algorithm.
Much appreciated.
I like you guys a lot. Best TikTokers on real estate and are moralistic. He doesn't know us very well. Unlike that Section 8 scumbag on TikTok. Well, I hear you. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different take and maybe a little bit of a different personality.
And once again, everyone's area is different.
Experience is different.
Section 8 out in that person's area is very different than our Section 8.
Yeah, no, their experience
I appreciate
is very
you
different.
Enjoying our content.
Yeah, and we like to, I hope you enjoy the cringy humor and dad jokes, and the fact that we do our videos.
Lovely puns that you.
Oh my God, I'm always cramming in the puns. We have a lot of fun doing this stuff. We really have a lot of fun hearing from people, getting right there. That's thanks enough, seriously. But when people come back, give us their feedback about when their feedback is. No, I'll take it. No, but you're right. I tried. This guy slammed the door in my face. All right. I got hung up on 4 times today, but I'm not giving up. I love hearing this stuff. Not so much about the door getting slammed in your face, but we love hearing that you're out there trying. And we love hearing from people that are saying, listen, I'm learning. I'm in the learning stage. And it's so hard, man. When I was younger, 18, 19, I wasn't learning.
And there wasn't YouTube.
There wasn't YouTube. All right, we're just making ourselves feel old. Moving on. Moving on.
He's very old.
I'm not very old. I'm younger than Tom Brady, everybody. Hard to find good opportunities in the North Shore. I get it, but everything's going to be different. There's always some strategy that's going to make sense for some market. So you just got to figure out what can work for you. You're just not seeing it yet.
Exactly. I mean, without in the North Shore. So here's some advice, Alex. I would check. So you can go to masscourts.org. And you can start looking up people that are in summary process or that are having issues with tenants. I'd highly recommend start there. The tired landlord list. Find people that are trying to evict people for non-payment of rent. That maybe they've been, going through all the craziness that's been happening. There might be a good opportunity for you to find someone that way.
There's always some kind of hole in the market somewhere.
Exactly.
From Victoria. I'm deaf and I want to learn all about this. Is there a way you can do captions on your lives? I don't know. I'll do my best to figure that out.
I think we can turn that on. So I apologize. I think we can actually add captions later, but I can check on our lives if we can do that for our YouTube. Definitely, we'll work on that. I don't know if we can do captions on lives for TikTok though. I have no idea how this stuff works, but I don't think we can do it unfortunately for TikTok. I'll have to look into it. But as far as, and so once again, we're speaking to this person, but they can't understand what we're saying. I'm sure they can figure it out. Hopefully Victoria can relay that for us. But what we can do is if you drop comments, we'll be happy to reply to them as well. And once again, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been finding us on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're still in those feeds, you're welcome to be here. But we are taking questions and comments on our live feed on YouTube. So I think we should kind of wrap up things. I think we've kind of answered a lot of questions. So this was mainly focused on wholesaling Q&A. So if we didn't answer a question that you're looking for, whether it be if you're on TikTok or you're on Instagram, please go over to the YouTube video that will be live shortly after. And you can actually ask, and share with that video, and we will get back to you and we'll answer those questions, maybe with a whole video specifically on that topic. Yeah, we want to stick around and be supporting you guys for a long time, and you can support us by dropping some comments, likes, shares, and all the fun button pushing that you can do to help us blow up our channel. Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day. Take care, everybody. Thanks, guys.